Live.
Hello, welcome to Matburn Live. It's the beginning of wrestling season. It's very exciting because Patriots won today. That's what we're covering, right? Mac Jones.
That's right.
Let's give him some credit for destroying the Browns today. All right, so on to wrestling. Wrestling season has begun, and on our show today, we are interviewing BJJ world champion Jeffrey Williams, who he's pulling double duty today, and he's going to interview himself basically.
Excellent.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and if we're lucky, what the heck was that? If we're lucky, Greg Hussey will join us eventually at some point of this season. We can't wait. So should we just jump right into it, Jeff, and tell us about your tournament and your big win, and you finally did it? You got over the top?
Yeah, so lots of injuries the last couple of years, and as you guys know, focusing on Bradley's wrestling. But I made a goal to go out to Texas and try and compete in the no-gi worlds. Bo Turner, one of our warrior coaches, offered to come with, and so that was a great opportunity for him to see what jiu-jitsu was all about. So went out there, and I tell the kids, if you know the rules and the rule set, use it in your favor. And I did in both matches, and came out on the positive side. What's interesting, and I say this, there's not a lot of guys that are competing at that age, but the ones that do, they're pretty dang serious. And so the Italian I beat, flew from Italy and competed, took second, came back in the absolute division, which is the unlimited weight, same age, same belt, and he won the absolute division. And so that was interesting. But what happened this past weekend was the gi worlds out in Vegas, and he did the same exact thing. He made it to the finals in a 16-man bracket, and took second on a rest decision, and then came back in the absolute division and won. So pretty amazing. He flew home to Italy and then flew back again for that tournament. But I have to say, from a wrestling standpoint, everything's easy once you wrestle. And jiu-jitsu, even though it's a different rule set, you come in with a pretty good advantage if you're still competitive and still competing at that high level and pace. It puts the jiu-jitsu guys on notice, but you can get caught too. So fortunately, with the high schoolers and college kids pushing me, it kind of keeps me in shape and injured, but it all worked out. So
what division do you compete in?
What's that?
What division do you compete in?
It's 50 to 55, and purple. I'm still a purple belt.
When do you graduate to your next color? What's the next color?
When I go to enough practices and keep training. So the last 2 years, I haven't been attending that much. One of the professors made a joke when I came in after Worlds. He said, "Jeff, you don't train and you go win it." And I said, "Well, I've been training. It's just obviously in wrestling, nonstop." And no-gi is
the word on you is that you're always at practice and you're never home, and you.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Does your wrestling street cred, flow right into the gym for BJJ? I mean, don't they understand? You're coming in there well with wrestling.
Oh yeah, no, they do. And that was what I was going to say about this weekend, watching some of my friends compete, and I say friends that I know that are wrestlers that have gotten into the BJJ scene. Two of them actually won worlds this weekend in the blue belt division. One is a 2011 world champ, veteran world champ in wrestling, and the other, I think, wrestled for Carson Newman when they had a program. So I got to wrestle both of those guys over the past 6-7 years, and watching them win their division was pretty neat to see. So
you don't like the gi?
I don't mind the gi. The reason I didn't go this year was I thought we would have been wrestling this weekend, and I had seen wrestling on the calendar, and so I'm like, I'm not traveling. I'm going to be here for Bradley, and same part didn't compete this weekend, so I could have gone.
Well, for 5 more years, you're going to be trapped during wrestling season.
That's basically what I looked at. When I saw the calendar say November 13th was when we're going to start, from November 13th through February 15th, I'm out of luck on competing right now.
All right. So when did you start this BJJ stuff?
4.5 years ago.
4.5 years ago. And you've been old man wrestling for what, 10 years now?
10 years consistently. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have no world championships in wrestling.
I had 0 world championships in wrestling. A lot of seconds.
A lot of second places. Yeah. So
stop reading my mind, Scott. These are the
questions. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead and embarrass him.
No, go for it, man. I like your contract is exactly what I wanted to know. You're a world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but your primary focus is wrestling. At some point, are you gonna step back from wrestling and focus all on BJJ, or is just wrestling your passion, man?
The focus is I will continue wrestling until Bradley goes into college, or he beats me.
So
I left that open.
Are you determined to get that world championship in wrestling, or are you saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I was born to do jiu-jitsu?
It's on my list. Shad and I were supposed to have gone this year to Greece when he turned 35. That's the age that the world championships start. And we didn't go. And so I now have to wait till next year. Next year is in Bulgaria, I believe. And the focus is Bulgaria in 2022, I hope. So,
well, maybe Jake will go with you. He knows Bulgaria pretty well. Show you all the hot spots.
That's right.
Get you into trouble. Maybe you won't be able to come home.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to actually kind of focusing on jiu-jitsu at some point in time. But for now, it's I'll keep managing the 2 of them and see how I do.
So what's your message for old guy wrestlers like Shane Dempsey or anyone out there?
What are you waiting for?
There you go. What are you waiting for?
That's right. I say, like I said to other guys that have wanted to get back on the mat, listen to your body, take your time. You're not as young as you once were, and you're going to feel the pain. I'm sore today. I was sore yesterday. I'm sore every day. But if you pace yourself and choose the right partners, I think you can do it.
Yeah, I heard Tom Brady had been calling you up for some tips on longevity.
No, I think I might need to call him.
The TB12 method it's proven.
That's right.
Yeah, and Steve Contarino just won another world championship in wrestling.
He did, and he's 61 years old. Yeah, so I can't be bailing now. Those guys would be picking on me. So I'm still a youngster in their eyes.
Yeah, we should get him on the show. Let's try to do that for next week because that would be really cool.
Yeah, and he's been through a lot of injuries the last 2 years, and he still is putting.
He could do like 5 or 6 shows on his injuries. His stories are hilarious and impressive.
Yeah.
All right, Shane, I'll let you jump in now since.
Man, I liked where your head was at. You were walking down the same path, trying to get that time.
I thought for sure you'd ask him about his depends.
Oh, absolutely. No, but we're all in the same boat, as Hussey mentioned. We all have that 3 o'clock wake up call every morning at our age. I'm thankfully not on any Promax yet, but the amount of water that I drink every day, I do stay hydrated. So when I can start wrestling, I'll be ready to go.
Are you taking your prostate supplements?
Thank God.
All right, so back to wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling going on. My phone was blowing up. Was it Friday night between you two going back and forth? Who won? I don't even know what the duel was.
Yeah. So what do we have? This week we had the Thompson red and black duels. We had our middle school kids come out and they worked on one mat. We had our girls working another mat. And then we brought out our red and black team and, matched up some kids. Some good matches, you never want to see two starters having to go battle each other, especially if they're, a weight class different. But saw some real good matches. Saw Thomas Geary and Yanni Vines. That was a good little scrap. It's Yanni. He's strong. He's competitive. Thomas has that wiry wrestling, which you'd love to see. I know my son loves wrestling him because he doesn't do what you're always going to expect a wrestler to do, and that really does help you fine tune your skills as well. We had
what was the final score there, Shane?
Man, I don't have any scores up in front of me, Jeff, but we had Yanni with the win. We had James Latona and Devin Stone scrapping. Devin's a new Thompson wrestler. Came to us from Smith Station, last year's 132-pound state champ. Obviously, we've seen him in the room. It's impressive. He's quick, good hips. A lot like reminds me a lot of Will Miller. Just real quick and great hips. Moves around. So
and he's in the same weight class as Latona.
No, he actually wrestled up to wrestle James. So,
just to see how it would go.
I mean, the coaches match guys up, and the coaches have a great sense of humor. But more importantly, if they feel like, hey, this needs to happen, they're gonna make it happen.
So it's not like you got two state champs fighting for the same spot.
That's right. That's correct.
Well, and when one of them is dating the other's sister, it makes it even more entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. And we know James doesn't have a sister, so.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Amazing. That's not good. Anyways, how did Nick do?
Nick, for the red and black duels, he had a freshman. Didn't put up too much of a fight. Nick ended up teching him. He's the kid had some experience, but
yeah, but he's dealing with a state runner-up. What can you do?
He's running and gunning for a starting position on the Thompson High School wrestling team, man. And you got to be on top of your game. You have to be competing at the best level you can be competing at to earn a position there.
What weight are we looking at Nick for this year?
So he's going to go natural. He's going to go 132. Walks around, anywhere from 31 to 35, depending on his feeding habits. Although at Southeastern duels yesterday, we had a few other kids on our team, the Thompson Black, that they actually we had one bust weight, so he didn't make 26. So we had 4 kids at 132. Most of them, some experience, but not enough. So we decided, let's let them wrestle 32. We'll mix it up between the kids. Nick ended up wrestling 138 because we didn't have a 138 pounder on our team. The coaches split up the teams. They, basically went with a starter, and then the next position was a non-starter, and, they just worked up the line. So we had a pretty good team. They had a pretty good team. And then we had some holes that, some guys with experience, but guys that need mat time, non-club wrestlers, guys that, they have more than a couple of years experience, but they're just, they need some fine tuning. They need that mat time. So we threw Nick up to 138. He did real well. He ended up only losing 1 match, and it was a coaching loss to me.
So you were coaching him? Is that what you're saying?
I was there coaching, but I haven't coached my kid in many years.
Coaching from the stands, probably.
No, actually, Coach Barnes, he was running the team that we were on, and he asked if I wanted to join. I did. I just on purpose, man. I don't like coaching my kid. I really don't. I want to watch him. Still love coaching other kids, but I like to watch my son. But we gave him the old school, cut the kid. He was tied up going into the third, had about 1:20 left, cut him. And he was a senior from Hewitt, very strong. And that additional weight, it made it challenging for Nick. So he, unfortunately,
we should announce that we're going to be at Hewitt the day before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Coach Pike has invited Matburn, which is nice, and since you'll be there anyways,
that's right.
You'll have to join us.
So I want it in my contract now. I do not want to be mic'd up while my son's wrestling. All right. Jeff, you're gonna be there.
I got a button for that. Yeah, don't worry. Are you gonna be there, Jeff?
It's the day before Thanksgiving. I don't think so because I have to head to Little Rock, I think, for the weekend.
Okay.
I'll make sure to put my PTO request in.
What teams are at the Southeastern duels?
So we had Central from I think it was Carrollton, Georgia, that joined us. They brought 2 teams. We had Central Phoenix down south. We had Arab, and we had Hewitt that came and joined us. And Mountain Brook actually showed up. They didn't bring a full lineup, but I think they showed up with 8 or 9 guys and got some mat time. Arab ended up, Coach Kyle brought down handful of girls as well, so they could get some mat time. So our girls and their girls got some time, which was really cool.
Nice. So Shane and I went to the AYWO kickoff, the kids duels last weekend, and we saw tons of girls wrestling there. Yeah, and we got some interviews, and we talked to Sean. I haven't put the film out yet, but we talked to Sean, and he said that everybody at Thompson had made weight. First time, passed hydration, got certified. How's Spain Park looking?
Spain Park. Well, let's go back to hydration real quick. I mean, as Shane mentioned, people were kind of floating around weights. I think these next 2 weeks will be interesting to see where everyone lands, right? Because everyone can research the certification weights and where they might actually go. You know, if you look at Bradley's, his says his minimum weight could be 108.8, I think. He's not going to be anywhere near there, just to let people know that. So, yeah, certification should be interesting, where people fall over the next couple of weeks. I think this big tournament coming up this weekend with the Gulf Coast Clash will kind of solidify for the next 2 months as to where people are probably going to sit, right? So should be fun. But yeah, Spain Park, we have our black and blue duels on Wednesday. So that's the night of our wrestle offs. And then our first competition will actually be the Gulf Coast Clash down in Mobile starting on Friday. So we weren't able to go to the middle school and the JV kickoff classic for Vestavia this past weekend. So the black and blue duels will actually be the first competition for many of our guys, but should be interesting. I think you'll see Spain Park growing in the years to come. They have 23 or 24 sixth graders out this year, so from Barry. So that's going to help the numbers kind of grow. As you saw last year, I think we only had like maybe 21 guys on the high school team. So I think they have a few more. A lot of freshmen came out, but still unknown as to where everyone's kind of going. I get it from my son, so I don't get a lot of information, as you know. I'll ask him a question. Hey, how's practice going? Good. That's it. You've seen Bradley's interviews.
The world's greatest interviewers are Bradley Williams and Anaya Vines.
That's right.
Get them on a show together.
Yeah, you can't get much out of them. So we'll see. I don't think St. Park will be as strong as they were last year. We had 5 seniors. This year we have 2. Gabe, I can't think of Gabe's last name, and Yasmini. So those are the only 2 seniors on the team.
I ran into Steve Burrow at the gym, the Oak Mountain coach, Hall of Fame coach, and he told me he expected Spain Park to be pretty good this year.
I think we'll hold our own. I don't think we'll be a top 3 or 4 team. I think what the preseason has us at 5. That's probably a good place to say that we'll probably land. So, but we've got some decent kids on there. I think if you look at Will Conlon, I think he'll do really well this year at 182. Who was it? Kyle Oliveira is headed to 195. He's certified at 190. So yeah, he's growing like his dad. So
I saw him recently. He doesn't look 190.
I couldn't believe it either when I saw the certification. I was like 190. I mean, last year you certified at like 165. So
he must
who
be
knows?
like
We'll
7
see where
feet
that goes.
tall now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
what do you think? I mean, we
who-
got 4 weeks, right? Before, about that 5 weeks before Christmas, you know, so that we're going to see a lot.
Oh, let's talk about Kyle.
A lot to change.
Kyle did really well at the BJJ championship also, didn't he?
He took second. Yeah, he took second.
At the world championships.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yep.
So
yeah, he focused right after the schoolboy and 16U duels. He started focusing on BJJ again till that tournament, and so now he's back in full time in wrestling. But yeah, and I've said this too before. I mean, you do have to change your mindset if you're going between jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Although I don't change my mindset in the summertime with our high school kids, I kind of just roll right into jiu-jitsu. And Nick and others will make comments like, "What did you just hit me with a jiu-jitsu move?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you're gonna let me do it, sure." So
arm bars, is that what you're doing?
yeah, well, I mean, just a lot of sweeps and other things that you wouldn't normally do in wrestling, because you do have to put yourself to your back for a second, right? So, but there's no rest. I mean, no problem, right?
Nice.
I can attest. I watched Jeff abuse high school wrestlers with his jiu-jitsu moves. I know one that loves it a lot. He really enjoys it because he seems to keep picking Jeff as a partner, and when he gets
exactly
excited about it, and then of course I get the he always does that stupid BJJ stuff on me.
That's right. That's right.
Nice. Well, in
I'm
my opinion,
give them looks that they don't normally get in the other room, right?
That's right.
in my opinion, Kyle is probably the most athletic person most gifted person on Spain Park's team. And I've been waiting for him to break through, for that thing to click, where he takes it to the next level. I don't think he knows how good he can be.
Yeah.
As
a sophomore this year, I mean, I think he'll do well. But the next 2 years for sure. I mean, he's just got to fix some of those fundamental things we always say have to be golden, right? So his is when you put the legs in, don't drop to your back, because in jiu-jitsu that's what you do, but in wrestling, not going to work for you.
Yeah, but just as you said, Jeff, as he transitions back into BJJ and studying and getting his mindset right for Worlds, a kid with that level of understanding and knowledge in his head, he's going to do the same thing for wrestling. So, I think all three of us can agree that we're going to put Alabama wrestling to the test this year with the 195 pounders. That's just going to be a monster.
Yeah, and don't forget his sister. His sister hopefully will be state champ this year after coming in second last year.
Yeah, and she had a full summer, doing freestyle and Greco. So freestyle. So she's ready to go.
All right. So when Shane and I were at the kids' duels, we started interviewing all the girls, and we were making them say a phrase of "Let me wrestle" and sanction girls wrestling, and getting some coaches involved in that. And I'm going to compile that. So if you have a girl wrestler on your team, do a quick video of her saying, "Let me wrestle," send it to us. And we're going to send this to the HSAA, because it's time to sanction girls wrestling. I think there's 35 states already sanctioned. And, we got flag football for girls sanctioned in 1 year. We can't let that stand and let the girls not get their time to shine and their state championship. So,
well, hey Shane, how many girls were at the duels this past weekend for you guys?
Hey, we had quite a few. I would say between us and Arab, probably 35. I would say 30 to 35 girls. Might have been less, could have been 25-ish around there, but I mean, there was quite a few. I think we had most of our girls that came to wrestle. And like I said, Arab ended up, I want to say Kyle brought down about 9 girls.
check right here.
Well, I'll say this, Gulf Shores had their first,
Yeah.
well, I'd say Alabama had their first girls tournament. I looked at the numbers there. I think there was close to 50 girls down there. Daphne took 8 champs home. And if you take, those duels that you had, that tournament down there, along with all the other teams that haven't even set foot on the mat yet, you're over 100 girls. We're probably closer to 200.
We've had 205 girls certify already.
There you go.
From 65 schools. So I think we need 43 schools to vote yes. So if we can get all these schools to vote yes for their own teams, we should have it. But getting them to actually vote is the hard part.
Yeah, that's true.
So we thought
that's promising, though. Yeah. I think they're going to have to this year. I mean, there's just what's the rationale for not bringing it up for vote again? Because all these other schools and states are bringing in wrestling and promoting it. So
it only comes up for a vote every 2 years. So we need to do it again this year. We did it 2 years ago, and we fell short. And we did a lot of campaigning. We counted all the supposed yes votes, and we had 60 schools that said they were going to vote, but the HSAA said we fell just short, wouldn't tell us the number or who voted, or they don't let you know the details. They just say, oh, sorry you missed. So if we got 65 schools this time, we should make it, hopefully. So
yeah, I think we will. I mean, just what I've seen in a lot of these high schools and the numbers. I mean, St. Clark doesn't have a lot of wrestlers to begin with, but I know we have at least 2. Yasmin, obviously the one, but I've seen at least 1 or 2 that are also coming into the room now too. So
if only I could get Gabby to go out and make it 3.
That's right. There should be a 3rd in there. I know exactly.
I know.
Last name Allen.
It's too bad, because we all know she'd be a state champ. I think she already said, I ought to let other girls win. That's what she's thinking. So
wow.
Yeah, but they're national dance team champions from last year.
Yeah.
So
she should switch now.
That's what I'm thinking.
She's a dance champion, now become a wrestling champion.
That's right.
Yeah. But I had to pay for the flight to Orlando for the nationals, which is like February 17th or something. Yeah, so I got to go wear my Dance Dad t-shirt that they made just for me. I was the only dad to get one. Yeah, it's weird being a dance dad. I don't know what to yell.
Is it more weird that they got you a baby doll size or on the Dance Dad or is it a tank top?
I figure if Jeff can wear a medium.
Medium, that's right. That's right.
I want to show off this physique also. So we need to talk about our guest who may be coming to Alabama for the Vision Quest duels.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully bring in Frank Jasper, who played Shute in Vision Quest, and we've got a GoFundMe out there to help try and pay his way here. Our last donation was from Jeff Williams, so we appreciate that a lot.
Wow,
I know
that was a while back too.
Well, it was, and we're running out of time because you got to buy those tickets in advance. So I'm gonna start sharing it some more. But if you are with Thompson or Hoover and you plan on going to this duel and you want to see Shute carry that log to kick off the duel and meet the icon of Vision Quest, just donate $10 if you can. I mean, if you would pay that to meet him anyways, why not get on there and do it? And you'll get an autograph from him.
Right.
Buy a Shute shirt. I got a Shute shirt.
And according to Coach Welton, I think it will be in the auditorium, right? So
we lost your volume there.
Sorry about that.
There, you're back now.
All right, good deal. Yeah, we had talked to Coach Welton at the kids' duels, and he said it will be in.
We lost your volume again. You keep cutting out.
It's not me, I'm telling you.
It's the microphone, I think.
There you
I haven't had any issues at all, but I guess I'm having issues today.
All right. So what did Wilson say?
So Coach Wilson had told us at the youth duels that we will have this in the Performing Arts Center. So in the pack.
On the big stage, right?
Yep, on the big stage. Yep.
Under the lights.
Wow.
That's right.
And, you know, I did ask Sean if I could auction off the MC position, but he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I think that would be something that a few people might like to do, is get up there and introduce Shute and MC the whole match. That would be fun. Right now we've got Greg Hussey lined up if he shows up.
Yeah, you never know about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not here, so we should make fun of him, right?
That's right.
What's he doing tonight?
Well, I mean, if anyone watches wrestling, I mean, if I'm just putting a plug in, that movie is a classic of all time, right? And if you haven't seen the movie and you're watching this, if you're watching this show, you probably have seen the movie, right? But if you haven't, Hoover and Thompson were depicted in that movie, and it's a classic, outside of Alabama. I will say that. I mean, any wrestler, who's 12 to 5 years old or 6 years old knows this movie. So if anything, getting him to come to Alabama is just going to help promote wrestling even further for us. Because I'll share it on every wrestling forum known to man to illustrate that we brought him to Alabama, right? So. And hell, my son's wrestling that night, and I plan on attending. So I'm going to miss out on his own wrestling that night to come watch. So.
Right. So you know that Spain Park and Hoover have their battle for the ball. Isn't it a bowling ball?
It is. Yeah.
A bowling ball that they compete for every year, and I think Hoover owns it at the moment, don't they?
No, I think we won it last year.
Well, last year.
I didn't attend the duel. I wasn't there. I think I was down in Florida working, but I think Spain Park actually won it.
All right. So this year the trophy is going to be the Shute log. So for the Vision Club. So we got to get Frank to carry that log and award it to the winner of the duel. And then that'll be some kind of tradition going forward, I would think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Shane tried to get Sean to commit to wearing the outfit, the coach's outfit, singlet over the polo.
Underneath
Yeah.
That's right. No, not a t-shirt, buddy. I think he had a polo.
Oh, it's a polo. Yeah, white polo.
That's important. Yeah.
But what did Sean say about wearing that?
I think he had some potential, wagering going on that they could.
He was trying to make it that the loser of the duel would have to wear it the next year.
That's right. He put a little wager in there for Hoover.
But I'm pretty sure it's the Thompson coach in the movie who wears the outfit.
It is.
So I'm publicly calling out Sean right now to wear the outfit during the duel. It would almost be as cool as Shute carrying the log.
Right.
So
I'm thinking that Sean would be happy to do that the first time around, but afterwards, depending upon who wins, that coach ends up, the losing coach ends up having to wear it the next year.
We might, I think that would be good. But maybe he'd wear it if we got a certain number of donations to get Frank to come here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Did you guys, my sponsor a drink?
You're sponsored by Aquafina?
Yes, I have to. I'm not getting paid enough by you, so I got to get some kind of sponsor.
You make the same amount I do. You remember when we got heckled by fans online?
Yep.
Saying that teams weren't getting their money's worth out of us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of, I'm not to change subjects with Shute with Frank Jasper, but we have a Coach Zito from John Carroll that's been working. Him and his wife have a production company, and they've been working.
That's right.
On bringing a movie here to Alabama, and been posting.
Got a role for you guys, and nothing for me.
There are plenty of roles there.
I don't know. I mean, I want to be asked. I don't want to have to audition.
But I know that Coach Zito's not a Patriots fan either. So that's, that's.
Well, my whole idea of getting donations for being the MC was pointed right at him. We know he wants to do it.
Well, he did a good job at the girls duels. I mean, he stepped up because obviously the three of us didn't want to do it. So I was happy somebody stepped up.
But we were making him laugh the whole time.
That's right.
We're going to do it again this year. We've already been invited to the girls' championship.
That's right.
That's the table to be around. We had old Jason Fulmer from SE Wrestle. If you guys follow him on social media, Jason's a good guy. Jason sat down next to us taking some pictures, and I think we've been doing a good job fine-tuning our skills. We definitely get a youth tournament in, and that teaches us all we need to know about how to perform these guys and how to get the most from these wrestlers to get them to talk to us.
Speaking of SE, so let's talk some rankings. Anyone got thoughts on rankings?
I do have thoughts, and the thoughts are that rankings shouldn't come out until after Christmas. I appreciate when these guys put their statistics together, but no kid's gonna come back the following season the same weight. And if they do, you have to imagine they're going to be a hammer. So seeing somebody that I know ranked first, or ranked anywhere in the top 5, I'm like, he's never going to see that weight again. Just like I'm never going to see, the same weight I was, 40 years ago. Just not going to happen, So
yeah, I thought you were ranked number 3 at 182.
I would love to see at least, maybe the beginning of December, middle of December, before they start putting some rankings. Let guys get a couple of matches under their belts, and then, start running your statistics and
for their defense, they say that the reason they do it is in the beginning is to promote conversation, get people excited about it.
Yeah. I liked it coming out, but the funny thing is looking at it. I mean, within 2 minutes of just reviewing it, as Shane mentioned, you're looking at guys, you're like, there's no way he's going to go there. And some of them you couldn't go there to begin with because their certification came back exceeding that number to begin with, right? So it's good to see. I mean, there was some thinking in there because you did see some people moving weights and still being on the board. And then you saw others that were, staying down at 106, and you're like, there's not going to happen.
Yeah. So we need to get more coaches to respond to his emails so he can do better ranking.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is, if you don't watch these kids all throughout the summer and seeing how they're growing in their weight and how they're doing, it does just become a subjective kind of ranking system. But it brings up some discussion to some and spawns others or irritates others to get on the board, because there's some kids even from Spank Park that weren't on the ranking on the top 5. So that promotes it, and hopefully kids understand that, and parents understand it as well. So and you see this in the national rankings too. A lot of times, some fiery parents come up and they say, "What about my son?" I'm like, it's just a ranking. Right? It just promotes discussion, so don't worry about it.
You didn't win a championship in the rankings, that's for sure.
So well, I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
What do we have? I think the year before last, we had maybe it was last year. We had Luke Inkney, from he would have wrestled at Mountain Brook, and he did. I think as a middle schooler, he wrestled some 106 matches for Mountain Brook's lineup. And the following year in Rank Wrestling had him, in the top 5 as a wrestler, and I'm scratching my head like, that family packed up and moved back to Pennsylvania. He'll be wrestling guns in a middle school program there, and it's just one of those things. It's comical, but we like you said, man, that's a great.
We're talking about it.
Yep, that's a great way to put it.
It's entertainment.
Conversation starter, and
So let's talk pound for pound, top 5 guys. Who you got?
Wow.
Ooh. So
interesting. 7A? Can we just do 7A since that's all we probably know? obviously Yanni Vines, 126 pound, right? For sure.
For sure.
James Latona, 145. If he goes 145, I'm taking guesses now.
Is Moody 7A?
Moody? No.
No, not at all.
So the best wrestler in Alabama isn't on our list because he's not 7A.
That's correct. That's correct. But yes, if you're going to talk pound for pound, you have to include the man, the myth, the legend, Corey Land. You know, Corey's a stud, man. He's committed to what was it? Was it Northern Iowa? I forgot who it was, but
Yeah, it's something like that.
Northern Iowa.
Yep. He's
You and I.
was hoping he would go to Northern Michigan.
uh,
He's in Greco, because I mean that's his thing, right?
So let me close you off here. Here's what we have from Ranked Wrestler for your top 5 Class 7A. Mind you, this is they got everybody in there, so including some girls, which is pretty cool. Right now for 106, Wallace Blue from Huntsville, Peyton Moore from Sparkman, Clark Box from Hewitt, saw him this weekend, Lindley Welton from Thompson, and Tuck Davenport from Grissom. The last two, Lindley and Tuck, these are both 8th graders that are potentially, going to see some matches at 106. So
This Lindley's first year wrestling?
this is not. She wrestled last year as a 7th grader and was a state champ. So she wrestled
that's right.
she wrestled at the girls championship.
So now she's ranked number 4.
Evelyn Holmes.
Yeah. Actually ranked in the top 5.
Yeah, Evelyn.
Rank at 106.
Yeah, Evelyn Holmes should be the number 1, really, if you look at it.
So let's give this old man a minute to work his way down. So 113, top 5, number 1, Evelyn Holmes from Enterprise.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Which is really awesome to see her lock that up and rank
And
wrestler.
she might actually pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah. And a teammate of hers that will also be going to Enterprise, Greg Hussey's alma mater, right? Cameron Stifler. So his dad coaches for Assassin, runs a club down there. Number 3, Timothy Luttrell from Smith Station. You have Barrett Littleton from Tuscaloosa County, and Hadrian Soto from James Clemens, rounding out the top 5 in 113 for 7A.
Assassin Wrestling Club was in Force at the Kids Duels, wearing their AWC gear, which I like that there's a new AWC in town.
So we got looking at 120 right now. We have Oak Mountain wrestler Camden Tipton.
No doubt about that one.
And Camden's one of those guys. I think he'll be comfortable at 120, but easily could get into the 113 pound class, I'm sure. Kel Tucker, Vestavia, ranked 2nd. Andrew Jones from Tuscaloosa County. Riley Dubois from Oak Mountain, and Andrew Woodrow from James Clemens.
Kel Tucker, is he the Chelsea coach's kid?
Yeah, Nick Tucker, Coach Tucker, who is now at Vestavia as an assistant coach. Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, so they moved to Vestavia.
They did. Yeah. 126. This is pretty interesting. I'm going to guess for this number 2 guy, because he must have wrestled a match somewhere at 126. They got him on the board. So starting out with Enterprise wrestler Zach McFarland at number 1. Number 2 shows Bradley Williams from Spain Park, 8th grader. I think we know him. Got Kirk Smitherman.
State runner-up from last year, by the way.
That's right, state runner-up. Got Kirk Smitherman.
Got lucky.
Carson Ferris from Vestavia, and Chris Weaver from Hewitt Trussville, rounding out the top 5 for 126 pound weight class. Pretty crazy. Starting out with the 132, they have Yanni Vines, and the number 2, Devin Stone from Smith Station, which again, my point to being outdated information. Devin Stone is now a Thompson wrestler. So we have Zach Flurry at number 3 from Vestavia, Corey Jones from Thompson, and then Ty Sisson from Hoover, rounding out the top 5 at 132. Looking at the 138 pound weight class right now, there's John Michael Turris from Grissom, John Robert Thompson, Spain Park, Max Morrow from Huntsville, Austin Baird from Oak Mountain, and Jacob Porter from Grissom rounding out the top 5 there at 138.
Did John Roberts rank third?
He actually ranked second, behind John Michael Turvis. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. The 145-pound weight class, they have Brock Fields from Huntsville ranked first, Brock Metcalf from Hoover, Jacob Handy from Grissom, Jamonte Spencer from Sparkman, and Kyle Fontenot from Smith Station, rounding out the top 5 at 145. No surprise here, 152, James Latona, Thompson High School. Number 2 here is Jeffrey Smith from Grissom, Sean McGowan, Auburn, Alex Carvajal from Hoover, and Wyatt Allen rounding out the top 5 at 152 from Foley High School.
So James is going for his 3rd state championship.
That is correct.
And where did he commit to? Because he's not going to Virginia
Navy.
Tech, right?
He committed to Navy. He is
Navy.
Very
nice.
Yep. He, I know he's been doing some flying lessons, right? So I think he may have some interest in flying for the Navy. And then I know, I think the Air Force was on his one of his college trips that he went to, but I think having the opportunity to wrestle for Coach Kerry Collat was kind of high on his priorities. So
Yeah. Let's hope Collat doesn't leave again.
for sure.
I know a lot of people went to his last school just to wrestle for him, and then he left.
That's right. Yep, we know one.
Yeah.
We got at the 160, it shows Jack Lamy from Vestavia. Obviously, we know he's over at Hoover now.
Yeah.
Where his dad is the head coach, correct. Andrew Shelton, Hewitt Trussell, Logan Robert from Hoover, and Curtis Taylor, Tuscaloosa County, and John McKinney from Huntsville rounding out the top 5 at 160. 170, this is pretty interesting lineup. Kind of from rank wrestler here. 170, we start out with Ethan Lassier from Daphne.
Really?
Freeman, yep. Carson Freeman from Thompson High School. Harris Mitchell from Vestavia. Clay Johnston. If I see Clay at 170 pounds, I'm really going to start to question some things. But Clay Johnson from Vestavia at 170.
And I think he's ranked a little low for 170 as well.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever wrestled beyond 152, but I could be wrong.
No.
And to round it out, we have Jonas Cartimon from Sparkman. He's a senior for that 170.
There's something about redheaded wrestlers. Everyone knows it. Very dangerous.
They are.
182. This one looks like we got Will Garrett starting out at the number 1 from Thompson High School.
Is that the first? Oh, we had James, Yanni, and
Johnny James. Yep.
Will. And any other Thompson kids taking number 1?
No, I think that was it. That was it.
Yeah, that's right. Lindley isn't number 1, right?
That was not listed as a number 1. That's correct. So I got Will Garrett from Thompson. Like I just joked around about Jack Lamy being at Hoover. They have Jack Lamy listed at number 2 from Hoover High School. Sebastian Davis from.
So he's going to win 2 divisions?
He is. That's right. He's going to win
2 different schools. Yeah.
From 2 different schools. This is going to be impressive.
At 160 and at 182.
That's right. That's right. We have Will Conlon from Spain Park as the number 4, and we have Jackson Mitchell from Spain Park at number 5. Which I don't know what you guys are doing there at Spain Park, but you got a lot of champs there.
I don't think we can have both guys wrestle at state in the same weight class, can they?
No. And I think Jackson will probably be 160, I would imagine, or 170.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to rank 2 kids at the same weight for the same school if they can't wrestle at state.
Yeah.
That's right. So 195, rank wrestler has Evan Pippin from Bob Jones as first, John Edwards from Vestavia, and then Andrew Sykes from Vestavia, Todd Whitmer from Huntsville, and Jeffrey Tubbs from Thompson as a 195 pounder.
No Kyle Oliveira in there.
No Kyle Oliveira in there. No Kyle Oliveira anywhere.
He'll be the dark horse.
Like I said, this is why these things should not be out at least until sometime in December.
Maybe it'll motivate him.
It'll
220.
motivate him.
Let's get into our big guys. I know we won't see anyone from Thompson in here because all of our guys are still playing football. All right, we got this is definitely a no-brainer. 220 Hunter Jones. Actually talked to him yesterday at the Southeastern Duels. Hunter, their season was cut short in the playoffs against somebody, I don't know, I think they played Hoover. So his football season has ended and he is now going to get his focus back to wrestling. He did share he'd be wrestling 195, so that's going to definitely blow up some stuff here. Kyle Watson, Smith Station, number 2 spot. Chris Hawkins from Hewitt Trussville. He's at the number 3. Brantley Laney from Central, and John Turner from Foley rounding out the top 5 for 227A. And then lastly, we have our big guys. We have starting out at Spain Park High School, Rashad Burks.
Nice.
Hayden Bradford from Huntsville. Harrison Asbury from Hewitt Trussville. Desmond Nisbet from Central, and Maddox Sunderman from Bob Jones. So that's what we're looking at right now. Guys, you know as well as I do, by the end of this week, going into next weekend, this will all change. It's all going to change again the following week. So as we actually have wrestlers stepping on the mat to wrestle this season, the rank wrestlers will change immediately. I'm sure Jason Fulmer from SC Wrestle, they'll be sending out some updates hopefully throughout the season on his statistics. And right here on Matburn, you can talk to a couple of us that definitely go to a couple of high school tournaments each, and we'll be able to give some feedback as well on our respective teams.
Yeah. So Thompson football are the reigning state champs.
Yes, sir.
And you can't get any big guys to fill those spots. What's going on with Thompson?
Buddy, we had a few that came after they won their championship. They just weren't in the mindset that they needed to be by the time we started making a run for getting them prepared for the state championship. Obviously, we didn't have a sectionals last year. They based it off of your record. We had a lot of kids from schools that they barely saw any competition. We saw wrestlers with 15 and 10 records, and the 15, 8 or 9 or even more of those were forfeits because other schools didn't have wrestlers. So it was a weird year last year. Thankful that we had wrestling. This year is going to be a lot different. I believe the AHSAA will have the sectionals again. So going to be definitely a different story this year. We're going to see some guys that deserve to be there, and then we're going to see some guys that might sneak in. But pretty much your meat and potatoes, your guys that wrestle, they're going to be in there. And at the bigger weight size, usually you're going to find if you're not a great wrestler, you're just a gritty kid, and you got some good strength to be able to take another big guy down to the mat and just hold him down.
So speaking of Thompson heavyweights, I thought I read that TJ Ram has been elected captain of the Boston College football team.
You heard that right. Yep. Number 99.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw one of the games just briefly that he starred in a highlight that I watched where he tackled somebody and his helmet came off, and basically his helmet came off, and then he continued to play and tackled somebody with his helmet off.
There we go.
And then they threw a penalty flag on him for doing that, and he got very unhappy about it on the sideline.
So being around the program for many years, I have been around long enough to have watched TJ wrestle. I even have some old video of him at the Southeastern pools that they had every year. TJ, for a big man, he is an athlete, and he's got great footwork. He's quick. Every kid that would reach to tie up with him, he'd gladly throw a collar tie on you while sweeping both of your feet out from underneath you. Wrestled a lot like Steve Mocco, just really good on his feet, good with trips, good with sweeps. So I got to imagine guy with that kind of talent on his feet playing exactly what he should be playing right now.
Yeah, maybe he'll get drafted next year. That'd be cool.
I wrestled him 9 years ago, and he showed me a move that I use now every once in a while. He stopped on my foot, and he was so heavy I couldn't move my foot, and I just went straight down.
I love it.
So I use that every now and then. So I have to thank TJ for that.
Especially on Nick.
Yep.
That's right, exactly.
Yep.
Got to slow him down somehow.
That's right.
Exactly.
So we have the Chubb Father, great little restaurant here in Alabaster. He feeds Thompson High School at all the games, football, basketball, wrestling, and he's got a location now out at the football stadium in Alabama. And from what I hear, he may be having one down at the football stadium in Auburn soon. But his son Marley will be a returning wrestler. He will definitely be a heavyweight. Another guy that's on the football team, but his folks are pretty excited about getting him back out on the mat. And my neighbor lives down the street, Felton. Felton will be back out on the mat this year. He's pretty excited. His dad had him, last year going through a lot of strength and conditioning training for football. That's his love and passion. But he said, man, I really wanted to play football, or, really wanted to wrestle. My dad just wanted me to focus on this. And he said, but I'm coming back. He told me I can. So I love hearing that. His dad's a good guy. He's a either assistant or a principal. But he is a good guy. He likes wrestling, but I think he sees there could be a future for his son in football. But I think he also realizes that, with that strength and conditioning does not come the same strength, conditioning, and hand fighting skills that you get from wrestling. So, maybe they thought that was a great decision. Doesn't matter to me. The fact is they're coming back to wrestle, and that's all that matters. Get some new guys back out.
If there anyone out there who owns a business that's supporting wrestling in Alabama, we'll give them a plug. We don't have any sponsors on this show, but if you're gonna support wrestling in Alabama, come on the show, talk about your business, talk about your kid. We'll do that for you. Absolutely. We need more people like that.
Yeah, besides Southeast Ponds, right?
Southeastern Pond, they're too big for us. I know we're probably just on the same level as Eli, but he does support the post game show.
That's right.
At Buffalo Wild Wings with Eli Gold. And
well, I do listen to Talk Radio 99.5. I do call in from time to time, so hopefully I can get a plug out to Matburn and get them following along also. And
nice. Do you have a pseudonym when you call in?
Oh, absolutely not, man. No? I'm scared. I'm not scared.
Jason Lesore used to be with Bama Earl.
Yep.
And call into the Feinbaum show.
Yep.
I never got to hear any of that because I moved here too late, apparently. But I would love to have him relive that character.
Yeah, and there's a good plug right there, Paul Feinbaum, right? Why hasn't he been on Matburn? Let's get him in the crosshairs and get him talking about wrestling.
I don't know, and he's so good looking. Next to us, he's probably like man of the year.
I'm gonna call my agent Jerry McGuire, and I'm gonna see what I can do to get that set up. All right.
Right. What was it? You had me at hello? Is that Jerry McGuire?
Well played, Scott. Well played.
Thank you. All right. So this wraps up another edition of Matburn. And let's once again congratulate world champion Jeff Williams.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, keep your eye out this week. So Gulf Coast Clash is this weekend. I think there's over 20 teams. Louisiana has a bunch of them. South Carolina, I think, is bringing one team, and a bunch of Alabama teams. Hornet Duels over at Chelsea, right? Chelsea High School. And then Huntsville is hosting their Fall Brawl as well. So those three big tournaments, at least 14, I think, at Hornet Duels, 18, I think, at Fall Brawl, and over 20 at Gulf Coast Clash. So those rankings will change after this weekend. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
If you got any wrestling news, you got any events you want to promote, you got any video you want to share, you want to brag about your kid, send it to us. We'll show it, we'll play it, it'll be fun.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we did get an email. Hey, Wetumpka and St. Clair County, they're playing underneath the lights Tuesday night at 5 o'clock. So that's going to be interesting. So hopefully we'll get some video clip of that we can post as well.
Yes. Show us your best pins, your best moves. We want to see them.
Yep. And I was going to throw out there, we did have 2 Louisiana teams. We had Brother Martin and Holy Cross scheduled to be here at the Southeastern Duels. My wife's business, she has DCs down there, and she told me right away, she goes, they won't be making it. Their COVID numbers have spiked, and travel is being restricted. So
don't they know there's no COVID in Alabama, Shane?
Or in wrestling. There's no COVID in wrestling. So I'm hopeful we will see some of those Louisiana schools at the Gulf Coast Clash.
Oh, that'd be disappointing if not.
Yeah, I agree. But regardless, I think it'll be good competition for all. It is an individuals match, so
it's Yanni Vines versus Bradley Williams. The B-Rad is coming out.
It is nice to have individual tournaments back this year after only having duels last year.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. That's a way to kick off the season. We're going to do this every week, Sunday, 7 p.m., unless 2 of the 4 can't make it. And then we'll reschedule.
And then we're looking for a guest host. Like you said, man, call in, talk about your kid, talk about your team, something. Get on here and let's blow up Alabama wrestling.
We might have to just bring in TJ. The John Carroll coach, TJ Zito.
Oh,
Zito.
And any week where we don't have anything to talk about, we'll bring on TJ and we'll just let him go.
There you go.
He can carry the whole show by himself. We can talk about his movie. And what's the part you're going to play, Jeff?
Veteran cop, potentially. I did get a call back. I have to do a couple videos of a shortened script that they gave me. So I've got to practice being a cop. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. And Shane's the homeless person. Is that what your role is?
Currently.
Homeless coach that they bring in and sober up.
I think they may only have a 1 bald guy limit for this. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna put me in a wig. You're good.
It'd be a wrestling extra. They need those.
That's right. All right.
Has he announced the wrestling auditions, the wrestler auditions?
No, I don't think that's going to be until the springtime. It sounds like.
Okay, so work on your acting skills between now and then. Maybe you can be the next Matthew Modine. You be the next Shute. And don't forget to donate to our GoFundMe to bring Shute here. It's right on our Matburn page.
Right.
All right, guys. Until next week. Matburn out.
Matburn out.
Yeah.